Up next, I'm going to tell you my newest favorite barbershop fougere. What I mean by that is the newest release. It came out this year, so it is very brand new in the last couple of months. And of the new fougeres that I've smelled in the last year, this is my favorite one. So stay tuned to find out what it is. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose. I don't know if you can see, I got a spider right here. Actually, I think he's just out of camera reach. Kind of filming outside, doing something a little bit different today. The weather is so perfect. It's just ideal right now here in Miami, and got some plants hanging out here, watering my plants. And anyways, wanted to do something because barbershop fougeres kind of remind me of this fresh, clean scent. I wanted to be outside, feel the fresh air, the fresh weather. And in the last year, barbershop fougeres or barbershop fragrances are always one of my favorite. Typically, you're going to find, the main note in that is lavender. When you see something with lavender, it's probably a fougere. But this is a fragrance actually that's brand new, and the house is brand new. And for those of you who don't know, I've talked a little bit about this house before, but this is MILANO FRAGRANZE. MILANO FRAGRANZE. This is an Italian niche house that is actually from the same owners as Masque Milano. But what they've done is created a more affordable niche fragrance. So for example, a typical fragrance from Masque Milano, like Mandala, which is one of the ones I really love, Russian tea. For a 30 ml bottle, which the bottles are pieces of art, you're going to spend roughly, I don't know, anywhere from $150 to $180, give or take. But these bottles, they just came out. MILANO FRAGRANZE released in June of this year, and I was at the launch party. It was a worldwide Zoom event. They invited, some different people from around the world to take part. I was fortunate enough to be invited. I got to meet the perfumers, via Zoom, hear how they created the fragrance. But what they've done is they've created it. This is really a tribute to Milan, to Italy. These fragrances are very typical of common elements in around Milan, from different waterways to different vistas to squares to palazzos to different things. Very, very interesting stuff. But they've also created a fragrance that's very affordable. For example, you can get a 100 milliliter bottle of one of their fragrances for $140 roughly US. So let's get right into this. The fragrance that and I'm smelling my way through all of them, by the way. I have a sample pack you can see here. And the one that I'm going to be reviewing today, let me find it for you, because this is probably my favorite, or one of my favorites of the lot. And that is, you see it there? There you go. Diurno. Get it in there real close. This fragrance is sexy. This fragrance takes what I would consider a classic gentleman's fragrance, which I typically associate with British houses or even American houses, which have taken always done a classic take on the traditionally British scent, or even French. You got Santal Nobile. You've got obviously a ton of American barbershop fragrances. You have 1988, 1989, which from Floris. You have obviously a lot of great barbershop. I've done a list. You can go back. I've done my favorite top 10. But this is my favorite new barbershop fougere. And why? The thing that stands about this is they take the barbershop fougere and give it an Italian flavor. I love Italian clothes. I love Italian design. I love Italian fragrances. There's probably my favorite niche houses typically come from Italy, at least in my top 5. Again, Masque Milano, Peccato Originale, and I'm just now getting to know MILANO FRAGRANZE. Now, what I like about this one, if you like the note or the accord of amaretto. Amaretto, right? To me, it just symbolizes French liqueur. I'm sorry, Italian liqueur, not French. Italian liqueur, having an amaretto, sipping it. This has, at the opening, an amaretto accord. And let me just kind of read you some of the notes on this. You have an amaretto accord, you have lavender, you have sage, you have bourbon, geranium, you have white musk, cedar, aquatic notes, and vanilla. So you've taken lavender, which is again the traditional note for a barbershop fougere, but they've updated it into this Italian sensibility, and this amaretto accord. I'm gonna spray it right now. My skin, so you can see my reaction. I'm gonna tell you, oh man, all at once it opens, and it's sexy, kind of like almost amaretto, almost licorice a little bit, but it's still fresh. It's still fresh from the lavender, from the sage. Sage and geranium kind of give it that more green almost effect. It's like sipping a drink in a high-end Italian barbershop. And by the way, Diurno, just so you know, a Diurno in Italy, and specifically I guess in Milan, as they described it when I went to the launch event, is a place where typically businessmen could freshen up when they were traveling or throughout the day. It's almost like a barbershop meeting place. They could go in, they could freshen up, they could take showers, they could get coffee, they could relax. But anybody could go. It was for everybody. It was for the common man, but it was typically used by businessmen. So again, I'm wearing a suit today. I'm going to court today. I'm actually going to wear this and put this on, as you can see. But that's why I wanted to give the flavor. I wanted to get the feeling of being in a Diurno and feeling this fragrance, and it is just really nice. And they also talk about how this is Art Deco inspired. And just so you know, Art Deco, Miami, where I live, that's a huge influence. I love Art Deco. My house actually was built during the Art Deco era 81 years ago, so I have that influence in my house. My interior design is kind of influenced by that. I love all this. So this fragrance really resonates with me. And that's why I love niche fragrances, because they just go deep and they get creative and they relate to something rather than just kind of this mass appeal. This may not be for everybody, but I can tell you this is for me, and I think those of you who like my channel and like the fragrances that I talk about a lot, I think you're gonna really like this. Again, my favorite new barbershop fougere, hands down. I haven't smelled something this creative from that genre in a long time. So I love what they're doing with it. I wore this a couple times now. I get about a little over 7, almost 8 hours of good longevity on my skin and really good projection for about 3 hours. So for a $140 niche bottle, 100 milliliters, to get a unique Italian version of a barbershop fougere, to me it's a no-brainer for you guys to try it. Of course, try a sample first. Don't waste your hard-earned money. But again, I would just say that, and the dry down is beautiful. The dry down kind of goes into this cedar, vanilla, but it's not overly cedar. As you know, I love cedar. The cedar in this one, to me, makes it more of a kind of dry aromatic fragrance, but it's very warm, it's very sexy on the skin. The vanilla gives a little sweetness, helps round out kind of, I think, the geranium and the sage, and just makes it more round and easy to wear. And in the bottom, you get this kind of sexy white musk. That's not a dirty musk. So it's, you know, to me, there's clean musks and there's dirty musks. This is more of a clean musk for those of you who are afraid of that more animalic note. But the aquatic notes that are listed, I don't, on my nose, don't really get them, but I don't really care, because aquatic notes, you know, I can, you know, live without them, or I can take them. It's, to me, they're not one of my favorites, or they're not ones I really dislike. Overall, great fragrance. Again, my favorite new barbershop fougere that's been released in the last couple years. Try it from MILANO FRAGRANZE. Here it is. I have the decant. This is Diurno. By the way, I am going to be ordering a bottle of this, a full 100 milliliter bottle. This is, for me, full bottle worthy. All right, I guess that's about it. I'll be back soon with another video, you know, trying different locations just to mix it up for you guys, so you're not seeing the same boring background of perfume bottles like everybody has. I'll be back soon with another video. Peace and love.